Hawks. On a penalty, Travis
We don't start the
Zabols.
overtime with a face-off here?
No, because I don't know why Trent's getting the ball. Maybe Kevin Kaplis can explain that one to us. It is man down? Okay, so it was the man down at the end of the quarter after the penalty that Trent took. So Trent has possession of the ball. Zabols is back on. The penalty was almost over. Of course, that was the penalty that they took on the tackle of Connor Ham. Again, a good penalty, although it wound up almost not saving them.
Yeah, almost cost them the game there.
Nick Andrioli with the ball. Throws it over to Eddie, the man of the hour, the man of the match for Trent so far. 2 goals in the final minute to tie this one up. And now we're into overtime.
And he's just showing his speed again. Just blowing by his defender there.
Yeah, if you're wondering why we don't have the clock running here, it's because it is not running on the field. It's just in the hands of the timer for the entire 4 minutes going each way. It is 2 4-minute overtime periods that will be played in full. Eddie's going to pass it off. Dan Mickle spins down low. Martin watching him. Pass out. Ferguson's going to get it up to Eddie on his offside. Zabols cuts to the middle as Andrioli will dodge down the shoulder. Jesse Schumann on him. Ryan Gunn spins out. Gunn with a hat trick. Pretty quiet, just a gunner. Ryan Gunn. I mean, you don't see a whole lot of him involved in the play necessarily, and then boom, he puts the ball in the back of the net.
He's a really quick release on his shots. As soon as he gets it in a prime slot, then he knows to get rid of it.
Just over 2 minutes to play, and Trent has possessed the ball this entire time. I'll tell you, that's one way to make sure the other team doesn't score, but they haven't yet produced any scoring opportunities themselves and almost threw the ball away. Nick Andrioli had to chase it down. Martin once again out on him. Here comes Dan Mickle to try and open up some space for him. There's the roll. Pass in low. They've got a chance. Oh, that shot saved by Guinea. I don't know that Ferguson actually had much of an angle on that.
No, he really didn't. Guinea shut him down entirely and just took up all of the net that was available to Ferguson.
Well, there was a Trent player on the far side, but he was locked off. I'm not sure. I'm going to say it might have been Drew Popniak that was taking away the Trent attack man on the far side and just didn't give Ferguson much of an option other than to shoot. Now, as we come towards the final minute of the first 4-minute overtime period.
This is Brock's first possession in this overtime period as well.
Nick Karam with the hat trick. Minute 10 to go. Karam. Oh, the spin. Oh, what a strip by Brandon Armstrong on Matt Bourassa. Bourassa's eyes were opening wide as he had nothing but between him and the goalie. And Armstrong just got a stick-on-stick check as we're into the final minute of play. Davis Neal with the ball. Remember, he scored a big goal for Brock in the fourth quarter. Slade's just going to slow it down a little bit, adjust his pads. Looks like Brock's just going to wait until we get down into the last bit. The stall warning on. So Slade will run in. The clock's on the field. We're into the final 30 seconds of the 4-minute overtime. Brock trying to take their time. They have been playing a lot of defense for 2.5 minutes or so. They're trying to give those guys a rest. That's the thought process here. And almost surprising Brock wouldn't kind of push things a little bit more because they've been so good in the faceoffs. But now they're starting to go. Comes up top to Bourassa. Ham is open on the near side.
Oh,
no lane to get it to him. He's still open. Now they throw it across. It's knocked down. And that'll be the end of the first 4-minute overtime period. And Ham was just itching to get that ball.
Brock really didn't show anything there in that first period. They didn't. I don't even think they had a shot on net there.
Nope, they're just waiting to create something at the end. But they know they've got another 4 minutes, and there will be a face-off to start the second 4-minute overtime period. So given the way the face-offs have gone, they feel fairly confident they'll get it. Although I'll say Garrett Eddy has stepped in and taken a few face-offs for Trent and done a great job. And basically what Eddy does is just tie up Baudouin, make Baudouin force him to work for it, and then Brandon Armstrong just comes in and picks up the ball. I mean, Armstrong is great on that ball team.
Eddy does a great job. He gets down low and has a low center of gravity, so he can't be moved, and just, like you said, basically just traps the ball until Armstrong's able to come recover it from him.
So, 4 minutes to go. Face-off coming. tie ball game. It's been up. It's been down. What do you see going on here?
If Brock's going to come in strong to this face-off, and if they win it, I think in at least what I would think that they should do, if they were to win this face-off, is come down strong right off the bat and see if then they could put a quick one in and get Trent's defenders moving. Because if you can get them on the back pedal, they can get behind them and get the goal or get the quick goal.
See, my inclination was the exact opposite. I feel like whoever wins the face-off is going to just slow things down a bit and say, it's 4 minutes. We can control the ball for 2.5 minutes or so, and then attack the net and not leave them too much time to come back.
It's a fair analysis. So I was just thinking the quick goal, because if you come in, they know there's only the 4 minutes left in this game. If somebody were to clinch this quick goal, then that's going to make the other team kind of get a little scared, potentially have them making some sloppy moves, and they might, even if the other team ends up with possession, they could throw it away, trying to make too many moves too fast.
Yeah, although last night we watched the early part of the game, and I actually talked to the Brock coach about this last night, Justin Kennedy. He was saying the same thing, that his guys look kind of nervous and young.
Mm-hmm.
They're a young team, 19 rookies, and it showed, and Trent was showing more poise. But today, I think, other than the first minute or two when everything was a bit shaky, or Trent's defense in particular, and you're right, they go right after, but I think both teams have been very poised today and very composed.
They are. They have been very poised. Trent's defense looked a little rocky right off the bat.
And Trent gets the ball. That's a huge call.
Oh, yeah.
Great positioning by the Excalibur to get the ball, and Johnny Lynch will start with it. Illegal substitution behind the play. That is a costly error, as Brock had possession of the ball. I got to say, I've never called a game with a group of referees just around the corner, and it's fantastic, because if you don't know what's going on, if you don't see what's happening all over the field, they're going to pick it up. Johnny Lynch running the ball all the way up the field, spins it back, will hand it off to Danny Mickle and go to the bench to hearty congratulations from his teammates for setting them up in the offensive zone. Trent taking their time. Now Trent, as much as Brock pushed down, like you said, and took that shot, I feel like Trent is really going to try and take the air out of the ball a little bit here.
Well, that's been Trent's best advantage for this whole entire game, is their slow play. They're moving the ball around and get the Brock defenders moving, and then they find the opening on net and just put it past.
Give it to Garrett Eddy, let him run around for a while until somebody opens up, and then pass it to Travis Zabols or Ryan Gunn. Let them bury the ball. Right now it's Dan Mickle, the veteran, passing it off to Garrett Eddy. There's Jesse Schumann on him. 2.5 minutes to go here in this second 4-minute overtime period.
Eddy really slowing the play down here. He really wants to be able to make a run for it and doesn't want a missed opportunity here.
Yeah. Few movements by the Trent players. Are mostly just kind of standing around waiting as he has the ball over on the far side. Now they start to move. Eddie's starting to run around. Jesse Schumann staying tight on him. Schumann's done a pretty nice job of working hard to guard Eddie, but nobody can cover this guy one-on-one in this league, I don't think.
No.
I mean, he's so quick, those feet.
As soon as Eddie's feet starts moving, Schumann usually has somebody come in and help him to pick up Eddie as he runs by him.
Zabols is on his offside. Watch there near the crease by Alec Tamas. You can see 22 white and 23 red. 1.5 minutes to go. And Garrett Eddy has basically just strolled about the far sideline for the last 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he hasn't moved much at all. Neither of his players. Everyone's just kind of
they're basically working for the last shot here.
Exactly,
yeah. It's not scintillating play, but it's smart.
It's very smart. Eddie knows that he's able to get by his defender here, so he's trying to make a strategic play.
We're into the final minute. 30 seconds from now, the person with the clock will go on the field. Eddie and Schumann continue their little slow-paced dance along the far sideline. Zabel still standing on his offside, watched by Tamas. Dan Mickle is the closest Trent player to him, watched by Cole Martin.
Eddie looks like he's watching the sidelines now, waiting for the clock to come on the field.
Yeah, they're just waiting for the final 30 seconds. Now he starts to move. sprinting. The timer is on the field. Spins, shoots. They're going to get it back. Travis Ferguson is there. He's got the ball. Now Trent's got to make something happen quickly. They're going to pass it off to Mickle. Zabels is up at the top. Here comes Mickle up top, spinning off Martin's check. Great job by Martin, but the pass over. The shot, it's too high. Nick Andrioli trying his luck. Trent has the ball once again, one last chance. Pass out to Gunn, he misses it. Zabels will track it down, but it's going to be a push in the back. And a cross check. That is the end of time, though. The sixth quarter, the sixth period, the second overtime has ended in a 9-9 time. So we go to 4-minute periods. There's going to be a coin toss to determine the ends of the field that the teams will play in. And then we will go on with 4-minute sudden victory periods. Oh, okay. Pick a guy from each team for the winner. Sawyer Brock, on the record.
I'd be thinking that Trent's going to want to move the ball probably to Eddie because of his speed with both in his feet and his hands. They've been kind of looking at Zabels, but he's honestly, in that last 2.5 minutes, really just stood in front of the net and didn't do a whole lot.
Yep.
And down on the other end for Brock, Slade's been shut down all game, so they're really not going to be able to move it to him. But Ryan Gunn and Connor Ham have both been hot today, so they're probably going to look to move it down low to one of them and have one of them slide it by the goalie.
Ryan Gunn, of course, Steven? Playing for Trent, number 21. He's had the hat trick for them. I'm
Gunn's on.
Yeah,
oh wow.
I was thinking of going with Gunn because I think Eddie will be the guy with the ball if Trent gets possession. But I think I think the same thing. Travis Zabels is the guy I would look to, but I just feel like Gunn has that knack to just step into an open spot and let it fly. At the other end of the field, I'm going to go with, it's a tough one. I'm kind of thinking Brandon Slade stepping up and scoring the big goal, but I'm going to actually go with Nick Karam, who has the hat trick today. He's been very hot, and he's been so sharp driving to the net, and that really seems to be when Brock's been able to break down the Trent defense a bit, is when they get multiple players attacking the net and creating some openings.
Well, just from watching Karam on the field, he looks like he's really able to just put himself in the right position at the right time. Yeah. He knows where the play is going to end up and knows where he needs to be. So.
Meanwhile, the McGill Redmen are sitting and watching this and saying, more overtime.
Yeah.
Giddy up.
Exactly. They're happy with this overtime because they know they're going to be facing one of these teams, and the more time they're on the field, the more tired they could potentially be by the 5 o'clock game tonight.
And again, no other options. Honestly, all the possibilities were explored. Everything was thought through, and there's a reason that game has to happen at 5 o'clock today. But that doesn't change the fact that it makes it very tough for either Trent or Brock in this situation. And both coaches were interesting talking to both coaches last night when the final decision was being made. It was kind of left up to them. Do you play this game at 5? Is that going to be okay? There were some other options on the floor that really would have been pretty disruptive in some ways for their players. And they both said, you know what, it's not ideal, but it's better for the tournament and the league. And I really respect that. And Justin Kennedy and Jeff McKinley with Brock and Trent, respectively, they said, bigger picture, one of us is going to go play a tough game, but
it's like
the tournament, we got to do this.
For the integrity of the Baggataway Cup, we got to have it still flow in the proper way.
So, Nico Baudouin will head out there, number 21 in red for the Brock Badgers. Let's see. I've got to guess it's going to be Garrett Eddy. And, he is heading towards the face-off dot. They've had Travis Ferguson trying to take some face-offs. He's done a pretty good job for them, but just wasn't able to slow down Baudouin in the second half. And Garrett Eddy, and keep your eye on the near side, Brandon Armstrong, number 10. He's lining up beside Jake Nyhouse for Brock. And Armstrong has been in terror getting in there for ground balls when Eddy's been able to tie up this face-off. And he's going to do it again. Eddie does. But Baudouin just rips the ball out to himself. That is a great win, showing the strength of Nico Baudouin because Eddie was all over him.
He did the exact same thing on the last faceoff he took as well. Just won it himself and did all the work with no help.
I'll tell you, the one thing that Baudouin can do, we mentioned last night that Nico Baudouin scored 23 goals this year. He can pick that ball up, run down the field, flip it over to the front of his stick, and bury it. and he could have finished this game in a hurry, but Trent did a good job getting back on defense. Now Brock's going to set up. No need to kill a lot of time. Their defense hasn't been having to work too much lately, so they're just going to set things up, be patient, but attack the net. Ham with the ball behind the net. Oh, the pass out front doesn't quite connect to Baudouin. Baudouin does pick it up, though. What a shift he's having here. He's looking for somebody. He's going to shoot it. Neither of us picked him. Karam passes over to Ham. Karam's going to get the ball back. He's watched by Garrett Eddy, taking on a defensive role here.
Yeah, Eddie's showing he's a really dynamic player, playing all parts of the field.
Well, you want that quickness, right?
To
take away the defensive. I mean, when he's playing so much in the offensive zone, it's just too much energy to try and play all the time in the defensive zone too. But Great two-way midi playing here. Ball goes up top to Nick Rybka. Haven't seen a lot of Rybka. Interesting for him to be out there in the overtime playing a fairly central role here. Slade on the far side, watched by Cole Murduff, as we've seen so much through this game. And they did switch to have Brandon Armstrong on Slade when they needed a strip. Slade is setting up. Murduff's backing away, giving him some space. Slade starts to move, trying to open some space using the net. There's a shot in the goal!
Oh.
Davis Neal lets it fly. A thrilled bunch of Brock Badgers sprint out. Half of them run down and congratulate Davis Neal. The other half run down and congratulate goalie Alex Skinny. Now the guys on the defensive end are going to join the throng. And if we can get a shot of the Trent players just dejected, kneeling, crouching. I mean, just that
was a hard-fought game.
What a great effort for Trent and a big stepping stone for this program to get the win over Queens last week and then be in such a competitive battle here. We saw a huge upset a couple of years ago, as we mentioned, with Queens beating Western, and Trent almost pulled off the same thing. But it certainly speaks well to the development of the Eastern Division of this league.
Sure, Trent showed today and last night that they're able to come and compete with the big guys like Brock, and they really gave Brock a run for their money today.
Yeah.
Brock's probably really happy with that goal in this period. They got to get a little rest time now before their 5 o'clock game tonight.
5 hours and 54 minutes, and they'll be available to go on the field for warm-up at 4 o'clock for that 5 o'clock game. That's an interesting coaching decision too. How much of a warm-up do you take? How much?
Exactly. Yeah.
How more is it more valuable to have the rest time, and maybe a shorter warm-up, or do you need the full warm-up to get going again? It's a little cooler today. Very warm, unseasonably warm for mid-November last night, but it's back down, around 9 degrees. The wind making it feel like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So it's not super warm. Trent having a meeting down by their goal. Haven't come out to shake hands yet is Jeff McKinley having a chat with his team. I'm sure telling them just how proud he is of the effort they put in today. And
he definitely would be giving them lots of words of praise here.
Yeah.
They really...
Teams will come and shake hands. They'll line up on the 50-yard lines. Remember, today the game's at 1 o'clock. Bishops, the hometown team, taking on the Western Mustangs. That's a lot of purple.
It is a lot of purple.
One team will be in white. I believe Western is wearing their purple, if I'm not mistaken, and Bishops is wearing the white today.
Western was ranked higher than Bishops, so they get the option.
And they'll wear the purple. And then in the other game, which will be at 5 p.m., the Brock Badgers will try to continue their success in this tournament by taking on the McGill Redmen. And I've got to think at this point, McGill a pretty heavy favorite in that one because of just the toll this game is going to take on Brock. But you can't underestimate, or you shouldn't discount the momentum that this can build for a team when you get that big win.
That'll be Brock's advantage coming into the game tonight, is that they're coming off a solid, hard-fought win here, and they'll be hyped up to know that they played hard enough to make it into the semifinal game tonight, and they'll come in fired up against McGill tonight.
We're going to have the player of the game presentations shortly, and then we're going to take a break for a few hours, go and do some other things, and be back here at 1 o'clock, as should you be. Get comfortable. Breakfast at Bishop's is done. It'll be lunch in Lennoxville.
There you go.
This afternoon. I just made that up as I went. And then we'll have to think about something for tonight. Dinner in Quebec? I don't know. We'll come up with something.
Yeah, well.
Supper in Sherbrooke.
There we go.
Thank you very much. This is a total team effort up in the booth here. The whole crew doing a great job bringing you these games. Thanks so much for being with us. We're going to do the player of the game presentations, and we'll come back just under 3 hours from now and have the McGill versus Bishops game, and that should be a dandy.
Oh, yeah.
That's a long-standing rivalry, obviously, and even though McGill's had the better of it over the last few years, there have been some great games. So the players of the game being announced.
We're CUFLA executives. There's a lot of players here today that were probably deserving of the player game.
A great performance by Garrett Eddy. Again, we thought about Cole Murdoff for the defensive performance that he put on. And you can see Garrett Eddy heads out. It's so hard to go and accept that Player of the Game award when what you wanted was to win the game.
Exactly, yeah. He doesn't even care about that award at the moment.
But it'll be nice to look back on later. He gets a lacrosse head. And, Nick Karam with 3 goals and 2 assists for Brock. And, boy, he had a terrific game. So many players playing well. And congratulations to Brock. Condolences to Trent, but congratulations to them on a great effort. We're going to wrap things up here, and we'll be back. I'm Stephen Stamp with Sawyer Brock on behalf of the entire crew bringing you these games. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you at 1 o'clock. Make sure you're here. Western Bishops. It's going to be great.